wanting to understand the school's decision-making or the lack of ability thereof, a journalist here from Columbine Undercover reached out to the dean of students at the Chippewa Falls Middle School, Corey Hahn. Let me, before I play this for you, and it's how long is it? It's
7 minutes.
It's a 7-minute call. I want to play it in its entirety. Look, I get it. It's not always the most entertaining thing when you have to play. But if we don't play the 7 minutes, the story would be about you cut 30 seconds out. Remember that happened with BlackRock?
Yep.
It's like, okay, so just because at this point we don't want to have to follow up on the lies, all of it is out in the open. That's why it's 7 minutes. Let me provide some context here. They're going to try and make some claims in this call. Okay, here's a claim that you'll hear, because I don't want to pause the video, that there was no imminent threat by the student in this case, so there's no need to notify the parents. The truth is that the dean of students, Corey Hahn, themselves informed police that this was a very serious matter to be taken seriously, and the student was suspended immediately and then expelled December 6th in a closed-door session.
Yeah, there was nothing to worry about, though.
There's nothing to worry about.
We immediately removed this person from the school, and in a closed-door session, immediately, or as quickly as we possibly could, expelled this student from our school district.
Yes, and you're going to hear another claim on this call that unlike this case, parents were informed of these previous incidents because those incidents had a police presence at the school. There was at least one police officer who showed up at the school in addition to the school safety officer with this very scenario. So I just set that up because you'll listen to the 7-minute call and you may not know how to call balls and strikes. You can if you go check out the references. You'll know it's a lie, but I just told you. Here is the call from our journalist to, I want to make sure I get the name right, Dean Corey Hahn.
Hello, this is Corey.
Hey, Corey, what's up, man? It's Mike. I left you a message earlier.
Hi.
How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, man. I appreciate you getting back to me. I know you're busy. I just had an issue with my son that I just wanted to discuss with you, if you just have a minute.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so unfortunately, me and my wife got divorced a little while back, and she has full custody, of course, so I don't always hear everything that kind of happens. So I just wanted to, one of my friends is on the local police department there. He had mentioned there was a child who was kind of planning something back in October with a manifesto and stuff like that. So I didn't hear about it, so I didn't know if you guys had alerted my wife and she didn't tell me. Because that's just kind of concerning for me if that's the case. Again, if you guys didn't reach out to parents and let them know for some specific reason, I understand that. But I just wanted to make sure if that event happened the way it was explained to me from the police officer, that you guys didn't send an alert out and basically my wife didn't tell me about it, right? So.
Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, what I can tell you is that, like, there was an incident that involved a student, and I won't get into kind of the specifics of that, but there was an incident that involved a student, and, we found out about it right away, and we took the actions that we do with every student, right? We investigated it all the way through, we're lucky enough to have a school resource officer here with us, and we brought him in on it too, and we kind of followed the procedures that we normally do with those things. I can look back, but I don't believe we sent anything out to parents because through our investigation of everything that was going on, there was at no time that we felt an imminent threat to any of the kids in our building or our building at all, anything like that. So that's why we wouldn't have sent anything out to parents at the time.
Okay, and part of the reason I was asking is I know there was some swatting calls, and there was an incident like a year or two ago, too, where an incident happened, it was investigated, it was not credible at the time, so you guys did let parents know at that time, so I just wasn't sure if it was a situation like that, or if it was something more serious,
Yeah, yep, absolutely.
And this was back in October, is that correct?
Yeah, I believe so. I don't know. I can't remember the exact date.
Okay, yeah, and again, I'm not trying to put anybody on the spot or get anybody in trouble or anything. And one of my friends from the police department was telling me that there was a manifesto found, and it was pretty graphic and stuff. So it seemed like something we would normally, or you guys would normally kind of let parents know about. So I just wanted to, kind of clarify that or clear that up, basically.
Gotcha. Yeah. Mike, can I ask your last name?
Honestly, I just want to remain anonymous right now. I don't want again, I'm not trying to put anybody on the spot or have my kid, shine a light on him in any way. The main thing I was just trying to find out is basically if you let parents know and if my wife didn't tell me, so.
Okay, yeah. The reason I ask is just because, right, as a school district, we always do everything we possibly can. I mean, safety is our number one concern, right? There's never anything that we do that safety isn't the forefront of what we're doing, and keeping our kids safe, keeping our staff safe, everything like that too, or whatever. And so I'm just just a little bit curious too that like the police department would be leaking something like that to somebody as well too, because right, like we work really closely with them, and we just want to make sure that we're all on the same page with kind of who's saying what to who and that type of stuff.
No, and I definitely get that. Again, this was a private conversation. I don't want to put him in any hot spot or anything. Like I said, the way he had described it, it just seemed a little more serious than some of the other stuff that you let parents know about, right?
Okay. Yeah, and like I said, like we do our due diligence every time, and at no point did we feel like there was an imminent threat to anybody or any safety concern like that in our building at the time or anything, which is why we didn't reach out to parents.
Can I just ask why you would let parents know about the other stuff, the swatting calls, the other incidents that were deemed not credible, but you wouldn't let parents know about this? I'm just curious. What's the difference?
Yeah, well, I mean, so Mike, I'm going to be totally honest with you. Like, I'm a little bit concerned about this conversation because it seems like you're digging for some things. Like, I'm digging for that exact question I just asked. Right? I know we let parents know about stuff that had happened that was less credible. This seemed a little more credible to me, so it just seemed like something we would normally let parents know about, right? Okay. Yeah. And I guess like, if you would like to come in too and discuss this in person, I would love to do that too. And, we can kind of go through all that. We can bring Officer Downey into the conversation as well. And he can kind of fill you in on some of those different types of things. So. Yeah,
no, I would definitely possibly be interested in that for sure. But again, just a simple question, like why would you let parents know about less credible things when you had something that seems more credible to me based on the conversation I have? And you wouldn't let parents know about that. I'm just honestly, that's my main question.
Okay, yeah, and I understand that, right? And I get your conversation that it seems more credible. I would say with the swatting incidents and things like that, like there were sometimes police officers that showed up to our building and so forth, and so obviously we let people know that there was not anything going on. Everybody was safe. Everybody was okay. In this situation, we got to it right away. We handled it really quickly, and again, we felt that there was no credible threat to our staff or our students at the time or anything like that. So,
but that's my question. Like previously, we didn't think there was a threat. We didn't think there was any problems, and we let parents know. But what's the difference between this situation?
Well, but again, I mean those previous ones, right? Like if police were there or police showed up at our building, right? People see that, and so we let them know that. But this one, again, we handled that at the school and we took care of it.
Didn't an officer come to the building for this one though?
Well, we have a school resource officer at our building every single day.
But wasn't there?
We employ school resource officer Dan Downey.
Okay, so Dan Downey is directly through the local department, and he basically just handles it, is what you're saying.
Well, yeah. So he's our school resource officer, and the high school has a school resource officer, Brian Flug, and so both schools have a full-time school resource officer.
Okay. All right, so you're just saying the difference is cops came, there was more of a scene, so you want to let people know. With this one, there wasn't that same scene, so you just didn't feel necessary to basically just scare people, I guess, or alert, something like that?
Sure.
Okay. All right, well, again, that was my main thing. I wanted to know if there was something that came out that I just wasn't made aware of. So if that's the case, I might take you up on an in-person meeting at some point so we can discuss. But for now, I think that kind of satisfies my question.
All right. Well, thank you so much for calling, and have a great weekend.
Cool. Thanks, man. I appreciate you getting back to me. Bye.
Yeah, bye.
Watch Ladder with Crowder live Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern.